What's up? Welcome inside the Open Line, part of the Elite Fantasy Sports Network. Corey Parson, the fantasy executive. Benny Ricciardi. Benny, what's going on with you? How was your night?
The night wasn't that great. The Bucks didn't play very well. Giannis didn't play his normal minutes. He didn't get his rebound, so that didn't work out well.
How much did he miss the rebound prop by?
Not a lot. I think he had like 11. He was over. He definitely had a double because I hit the double prop, but I didn't hit the what was it, 13 and a half yesterday? I didn't hit the rebound prop one.
Okay, no, I know. The way I played it last night, the Bucks have been money makers for me all season. So I wasn't going to get off of them now. Last night would have been a good night to get off of them. I had them laying in 3. I had them on the money line. So basically the Bucks blew up 2 parlays by themselves because all of my baseball hit last night.
Yeah, baseball was good yesterday.
Both my NHL bets hit last night. I had the Blues and I had the over. You know, you got that they pull the goalie at the end. It's always great. And you just go over by half a point with 3 seconds left. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I love this.
Hey, the money's still green, man. That's fine.
There you go. So that's how the night was. But the Bucks did ruin it last night for me. But big game. And you know what, Benny? The first bet that I put in my queue yesterday was the Lowry points.
Yep.
And I did not play it.
Oh, dude, he had it in the first half.
He had it in the first half, yep.
Yeah, he played a good game. I mean, honestly, it went kind of the way we explained it yesterday. Like, Kawhi's not 100%.
Yeah, you were correct about that.
Yeah, he's not even close to 100%. And you had to have other guys stepped up. And yesterday, everybody stepped up for them. Like, Ibaka had like 16 or 18. Gasol, Van Vliet off the bench had like 13 or 14 points.
Norman Powell steals money from me every time. Every time I'm betting against the Raptors, Norman Powell has a good game.
Yeah, Norman Powell played well yesterday. He shot the ball really well, too. So he was another one that had double digits, I think. So they had like, it's been like Kawhi scoring 40, Siakam having like 20, and then everybody else having like 6 or 8 points. Yesterday it was, Kawhi only had 17, I think, and there were like 4 or 5 other guys in double figures. If they're going to play like that, this is a much different team. Now, again, they were home. Those guys had to step up because Kawhi wasn't, doing what he normally does, wasn't able to play at that level. But still, it was interesting to see that, those other guys stepped up. You always talk about role players at home versus role players on the road. That's why, I'm looking at this -7 with Milwaukee for the game tomorrow, and I'm kind of digging it.
Oh, yeah, I'm all over that -7 with the Bucks tomorrow. I think the Bucks dragged them. And you'll be able to get that number better than -7 because my guess is the public is probably going to drive that down to 6, at least to 6.5. They may even drive it down to 5, 5.5, or 6. Oh. So, but I would take it right now and laying the 7.
Yeah, no, I hope you're right because I was kind of debating that too. I didn't take it yet, and I was like, you know what? Hopefully, people will be like, hey, Toronto's on a roll. They won the last 2 games. You get a little recency bias stepping in, and you get a little bit of a better number closer to game time there. That'd be nice to see. I would definitely like it at 5.5, but if I have to take it at 7, I'd still think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, you may have to still be okay with it because the money that's coming in early is all on the Bucks. Yep, yeah. It's on the Bucks. Yep.
You know what? In that case, I might as well go take it at 7 now and not risk going to 7.5 and making it
exactly.
Even more.
Then you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about that push if it lands on. I mean, you should get the push if it lands on 7. But listen, nothing much to talk about with that ball game last night. We do have a series now. Nobody's lost at home. So now we go back to Milwaukee, and we'll get basketball on Thursday night, tomorrow night, and then we'll also have basketball on Saturday. And a game 7 would be on Memorial Day, which Memorial Day basketball games generally tend to be awesome basketball games.
Yeah, that'd be great. Everybody will be around watching it, too, because everybody's off. Everybody's home, drinking, cooking out, hanging out with their people. So that'd be a good time.
As a Knicks fan, Memorial Day games bring back bad memories. You know what I'm saying?
What happened on Memorial Day? I don't remember. Was that the missed layup at the end with the Knicks and the Bulls?
That was a missed layup. No, it was the Knicks Pacers. I think the Knicks Pacers had 2 Memorial Day games where the Knicks lost, and they may have lost a Memorial Day game to the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks have been on, that's my youth. Right now, it's me as
the Knicks haven't been in the playoffs in so long. I don't remember, to be honest.
Doesn't make a difference at this point. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of New York sports teams, I was thinking, again, like I was talking before the program starting to get ready for fantasy football, and I was going through and looking at some of these running backs last night. And I started to do a little bit more investigating and digging into this situation with Adam Gase and Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I'm worried, Benny, because one thing I remember about Adam Gase in Miami, Adam Gase don't like star players.
Adam Gase doesn't like players that are good.
You don't like
running backs.
You don't like nobody. Put it like that.
Especially running backs. I mean, look what he did to Kenyon Drake. I mean, you got 30 carries from Frank Gore down there. I mean, come on. I really honestly – like, first off, do you think they trade him? Do you think that's just a bunch of BS that John Clayton report that he had out? First off, John Clayton hasn't been in the sports media industry for 2 years, so I don't know if I can really agree with –
Where did John Clayton come from?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't really believe that he has a source. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little shady there. But I wouldn't doubt that Gase wants to trade Le'Veon Bell because, frankly, he didn't want him in the first place. Isn't that what this whole thing was about?
I think that it played a big role in the power struggle in New York. Listen, when you got a guy like Adam Gase, I thought it was a bad hire from the jump. Adam Gase comes to your organization, he come to take over. And he's going to challenge everybody in the building. He's going to challenge the general manager. If it's not his guy, he's going to challenge the owner, and he's going to challenge the players, particularly the superstar players. This is the way Adam Gase goes. My thing, Benny, is what have you done to deserve to go like this?
Well, he coached Peyton Manning. I mean, you asked the question. That's literally the guy's been trading on that his entire career. Like, that's why he keeps getting jobs, because he coached Peyton Manning, which you and I both agree is a BS reason to hire a guy because Peyton Manning coaches himself. Your job is to get out of his way.
Exactly.
I
guess that's what it is. But my thing is, I don't see it. Oh, man. And I'm worried about Bell because, like I said, you don't know. I don't know if the Jets trade him. See now, here's the thing. This is what Bell is going to – now Bell has a chip on his shoulder, right? So now Bell has to come in there and say, okay, you the big dog. Let me show you that I'm the big dog. You know what I mean? So now you got him and Bell going back and forth, and then the ownership has to step in and you see, do you let Gase win or do you let Bell win? And the Jets were right there. Benny, they were right there.
You look who you're talking to, bro. I mean, my name is Benny. Benny and the Jet. I was born into this. I was born into having to be a Jet fan, and the dysfunction just is, part of being a Jets fan right now. So I got to be honest with you. I agree. Like, I don't think you're crazy. Like, Gase is that kind of guy that's just he's just a dick to try to be like, I'm the man and I know what's right and you guys have no idea. Again, it was a big enough deal that it got the GM fired. Like, that's what this whole fight is really about. From everything that we're reading, it was all about the Le'Veon Bell signing. That's not how Gase wanted to spend the money. That's how the GM wanted to spend the money. So, I mean, does he do it? He is the kind of guy who would sit him or, like, give him 15 carries to stick it to him.
Exactly.
That's the thing that scares me.
He's going to make his life miserable to the point where Bell wants to leave.
Yeah, but but you have him under contract. Like, you may not like the guy, but this is the team this is one of my biggest problems with, when they talk about coaches and systems and stuff like that. As a coach, you're supposed to adjust your system to your players.
Exactly.
Like, if you want to play an air raid offense and you got Eli Manning as your quarterback, it's not going to work.
Not going to work.
If you have a horrible running offensive line and you want to run the ball 25 times a game, it's not going to work. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, you have a great offensive line, you have Zeke, you run the football because that's your strength. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that it should be. And there's a lot of coaches that come in and they're like, well, this is my system and I need my guys to run my system. It's like, well, a good coach is going to adjust. Bill Belichick has different pieces every year. Sometimes, you still have Tom Brady there, but, last year or 2 years ago, they were running all the time with LeGarrette Blount and they were picking up a ton of yards. Last year they didn't have as good of a running game. Sonny Michel was okay when he was healthy, but they would throw the ball more. Years in the past where they had no running game, they threw the ball a lot. You have to adjust to the talent that you have. You have a guy in Le'Veon Bell that's a difference maker. Not using him doesn't make sense. But like you said, last year you had a guy in Kenyon Drake who was a difference maker, and you didn't use him. So I can't really trust that this is going to be a good situation. Here's what I'd say, and you might know this better than me because I know you're a lot more into the into the preseason NFL drafts at this point. Is he falling? Like, when we first talked, we said he's probably a top first-round pick, 6, 7 back, something like that off the board. Has he fallen into the second round? Is he dropping because of this, or is that why you're nervous about taking him?
That's what I'm nervous about taking him. Right now, he's smack dab in the middle, right? So right now, he is going after that initial wave. So right now, you'll have, the big guys at the top. You'll have, Zeke,
McCaffrey.
Why is running back's name leaving my head now? Zeke, Christian McCaffrey. God damn it, Benny.
But Saquon Barkley's probably up there right now, right?
Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Again is when you would normally start to see Melvin Gordon and Le'Veon Bell. My thing is, I'm willing to pull Odell up over Le'Veon Bell now, or DeAndre Hopkins, whoever you think the top receiver is. I'd rather take that risk and take a risk on Bell because I don't know what the situation is because Adam Gase is a hooligan. So that makes me worry about Le'Veon Bell in the middle of that first round for fantasy purposes as we start to get ready for that time of year.
I got to be honest. I think it's almost better if they do trade him because if they trade him somewhere, they traded him somewhere to be a workhorse back. The biggest problem with the Jets right now with him is there's a question mark because of the coach.
Which is thanks, Jets. Thanks, Christopher Johnson.
First year in like a decade, there was going to be a fantasy relevant player on my favorite team, and I can't even draft him now.
I know it's crazy, right? Well, you mentioned an interesting name a couple minutes ago. Though, what do you think about Sony Michel?
I think he's a solid guy to draft as your third round, probably.
Okay.
Because the way I look at it is, he's not going to be getting any of the passing down work, right? Like he's basically just going to be the running back. But being the running back in a New England offense is a good thing because it's a high-scoring offense. You're going to get a lot of goal line carries. The guy did have some games last year with 15, 20 carries and over 100 yards. Again, he has to stay healthy, but as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a fantasy producer. See, I look at it, the reason why I think playing daily helps me a lot in season-long is because a lot of times when people look at season-long stats, they don't factor in the fact that, well, this guy had a couple really big weeks and then he missed a couple weeks because he was hurt and he was out of there. Being a daily player, like you look at, what was the winning roster this week and you remember like, damn, Sony Michel's name kept popping up there because he had those, games where he scored 2 touchdowns or had 100 yards and a touchdown. He's going to produce. I just don't think he's not worthy of like a first round pick, maybe late second round or on a turn into the third, probably where I'd be looking at him.
I give you a couple names. Sony Michel or I just had the name in my head. Sony Michel or Leonard Fournette.
I'd rather have Sony Michel, but that one's close. And I'll be honest, the key for me is the injury stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Both players are banged up, but Leonard Fournette seemed like he's in a bad spot. He's in Tom Coughlin's doghouse, so I don't like that right now. Sony Michel or Mark Ingram. Leonard Fournette's a player I will not own nowhere this year.
Who, Mark Ingram?
Leonard Fournette,
yeah. The Mark Ingram one is a little tougher for me because I don't exactly know how they're going to use him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'd probably still lean Sony Michel. See, the thing that I like about Sony Michel is New England's going to score. And it's not all going to be through the air. They're going to get tackled on the 3-yard line or have a pass interference in the end zone. And he's going to vulture touchdowns like that, like he's done, whenever he's been healthy. So I might be higher on Sony Michel than other people, but the touchdown scoring ability that he has is something that I really like.
I agree with you. Listen, I like the kid. I like him a lot. I think he's talented. Like I said, the injury thing pops up because it was tough. They struggled at times with injuries in his rookie season. But when he's out there, he's a home run hitter. He runs the football well. He fits well in that system, and obviously the ability to finish off drives. Sony Michel or Devonta Freeman?
I'm expecting a big bounce back from Freeman this year.
Me too.
So that might be one that I take because he could get the rushing and the receiving and still be the goal line guy as well. So there's a lot to unpack there with Freeman.
Yeah, they didn't do anything in that backfield in the offseason too. No Tevin Coleman. And you got Ito Smith, who didn't prove to be worth much last season. Freeman's going to have to be prepared to handle a big workload. We'll see if they bring anybody in there in the offseason. Sony Michel or last year's guy that came out of nowhere, Phil Lindsay.
Ooh, I like Phil Lindsay, man.
Yeah, Phil Lindsay's a good back.
That's tough for me. That's tough. I mean, again, the thing that gives – see, Lindsay, I think, could catch a couple passes out of the backfield, so that might push him ahead for me. Plus, that guy, I mean, he had a huge season last year. So that's a tough one. But I think I'm going to lean Lindsay there. but
Okay.
I wouldn't argue anybody who went the other way either.
Sony Michelle or Marlon Mack?
Sony Michelle.
Yeah.
I really don't like Marlon Mack. To me is an even bigger injury risk than Sony Michelle, and I think Sony Michelle has a higher upside anyway. So
no doubt about it. Season-long fantasy football right around the corner. Fantasy Guru site over there, fantasyguru.com. They got you covered. You might want to hop in there now and get down for the price goes up. Early bird special is on right now. Obviously, content is starting to come up on the fantasy football side, starting to work on the draft kit right now. So that'll be out probably in about 2 weeks from now. So get ready for season-long fantasy football right here at fantasyguru.com, elitefantasy.com. Brittany, let's get into a little baseball for the day. Got a full slate. Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Baseball basically on from 1 o'clock this afternoon, depending on what coast you're on, all the way up until deep in the night. I don't know. Where you want to start with the day slate or the evening slate?
Yeah, we'll start with the day slate. We'll go through the whole thing. I've looked at most of it already today. So
Oakland and Cleveland today. The total, it opened up at 9, pushed up to 9.5. The Oakland A's in Cleveland. Montez and Rodriguez on the mound.
Yeah, not much in this game that I really like, to be honest with you. Neither one of those pitchers are all that exciting to me. I do think if I was going to bet anything, I actually like the under in this game. That's
Really?
a lot of runs to be expected from, a game in Cleveland. Like I said, I'm probably staying away from this one, though. I don't really have any strong leans.
I don't blame you. It's just too. Cleveland should be able to win this game though at -103.
To be honest, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. One of the reasons I don't like it is I think this is a complete toss-up. Like -103 is what it should be because this game could literally go either way.
Make a good point with that one right there. Also in the daytime, Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Steele and Davies on the mound. The total is sitting at 8, Benny.
Yeah, that's a low total for a game in Milwaukee, but you can understand why. I actually like Milwaukee here. Milwaukee's the team, even at home, getting plus money against Castillo. Castillo is much better at home than he is on the road. It's not like he's bad on the road, like he's getting lit up. But at home, he's basically lights out. And at home, I would probably take him in this matchup.
Yeah.
On the road, though, I don't really want to take him. Davies has been pitching really well this year, too. So I would actually take a little bit of money on the Milwaukee money line in this game, but just a little bit. They're only like plus 105 or something, but I think at home they should be favored.
Yeah, I like the Brewers in this one, too. I would agree with you on that one right there. Got the Kansas City Royals in St. Louis. 1:15 is the first pitch in that game, Eastern time. Keller and Walker, 9 is the total between the Royals and the Cardinals.
Yeah, I actually like the Cardinals. The Cardinals over 5.5 runs in this one.
Okay.
And the reason for it is, if you read, Phil Backer does a great job with the bullpen report for us over at, elitefantasy.com.
My man,
I think that's over there, right? Yeah, Phil's a good dude. But one of the worst bullpens he said over the last couple of weeks has been the Royals. So I like taking team totals against teams that have bad bullpens because if you get 3 or 4 runs on the starter and you get them out by the 5th inning or the 6th inning, now you're getting 3 innings against a crappy bullpen that's been giving up even more runs. So that's when you can get those overs and you get those over team totals. So I do like the St. Louis Cardinals over 5.5 team total.
Speaking of team totals, I had not a team total, but I had an actual total last night with the Twins and the Tigers, and it was 7. And going into the bottom of the 9th, the score was 4-2, and it was 2 consecutive terrible calls. They replayed them and got them wrong. And it actually allowed the total to go over, so I was pretty cool with that.
Yeah.
That one came through for me. But I know the Gamble Lord will take that back. You know what I'm saying? At some point.
The gambling gods give and they take it away, baby.
Here you go. He's going to come and get that one back last night. 2 questionable calls down the stretch in the 9th inning in that game. The Twins do prevail and hang on to win, though. Seattle and Texas, 2:05 is the first pitch in this one. Gonzalez and Chavez, 12 is the total.
Yeah. So here's one of my favorite bets on the day here. First off, I do think that Seattle wins this game. Neither one of these pitchers are – well, I won't say that. Marco Gonzalez is actually not bad. I mean, he's a decent pitcher here. For Texas, Chavez is going to be starting. And then Adrian Sampson is going to be the probable long reliever. So, Jesse Chavez is the opener. He'll pitch an inning or 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Chavez has not been good this year. 37% fly ball rate for his career, so he's already a fly ball pitcher. You're putting him, in a ballpark where that's not a good thing. He's a hard contact has been 32% over his career. It's 43% this year. He's giving up over 2 home runs per 9 innings, right? Adrian Sampson, who's going to come in after him, is another guy who has 1.96 home runs per 9 for his career. So you got to expect that there's going to be some home runs in this game. You look at the guys on Seattle that can hit home runs, like Dan Vogelbach, Edwin Encarnacion, Mitch Haniger. Those are 3 guys that I'm interested in. So the bet that I was telling you about before, did you ever bet the home run and the team to win total?
No, I didn't. I've never done that before.
All right, so you get pretty good odds when you juice it up, and it's kind of like the equivalent of like first basket odds or first touchdown odds in football.
Yeah.
So Dan Vogelbach, who's the first baseman for Seattle, he's a lefty, right? The Texas ballpark plays much better for power to lefties. It's a 1.19, which means 19% more home runs are hit by lefties in that ballpark than the league average. So you got 2 home run pitchers who are going to be pitching against them. You got a lefty that's going to be going up against 2 right-handed pitchers there and Vogelbach. This is a guy who already has 14 home runs on the season, hit 1 in the first game of this series too. Ton of power out of this guy right here. He's plus 425 for Vogelbach to hit a home run and for Seattle to win. So not only does he have to homer, but Seattle has to win too. So I like that bet a lot at plus 425. Encarnacion's 425, Haniger's 550. I like all 3, to be honest, but if I had to pick one, because the ballpark favors the left-handed power, I think Vogelbach is the guy. So Vogelbach home run, Seattle to win. It's playing – I mean, I got it on DraftKings Playbook where it was DraftKings Sportsbook where it was 425. But if you can get it at over 400, I think that's a good bet.
I think I'm going to join you in on that one right there. I got to look and see where I can find it at on my provider right there with Seattle and Texas and what should be a shootout out there today in Arlington, right across the street from.
Now, here's another thing too with these home run and win bets. You can parlay them. You can't parlay them in the same game though.
Yeah, but you can parlay them with.
But you could parlay one with one from another game. So I'll give you the other one that I like now. We didn't get to the game, but it's a late night game. So this is a day-night kind of parlay for you.
I'm up. Benny. I'm up.
I know you were up for it. That's what I said. So you parlay the other one I'm going to give you. If you parlay these 2 together, you're going to get a payout of like 13 or 14 to 1 on it.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, you throw $50 on it, you win $650, $700 if they both hit. So the other one I like, Ivan Nova's pitching for the White Sox today. His ERA is like over 7 this year. He looks absolutely horrible. But the reason why his ERA is over 7 is his home run per 9 is up to 1.9, when over his career, this is a guy that had been like under 1.2 coming into the season. But you've noticed over the last couple seasons that it's like slowly creeped up, right? So like 2 years ago, his home run per 9 was like 1.4, and then it was like 1.49. And so far this year, it's like 1.9. So, you're getting a lot of upside there. You're in Houston, which is a pretty good home run hitters ballpark as well. It plays better to right-handed power. 1.08 is the multiple, meaning, 8% more home runs being hit in Houston by right-handed bats than, the league average park that you would have out there. You're getting guys like Bregman at 325, Correa at plus 400. So I took the Bregman 325, parlayed it with the Vogelbach 425, and the payout is like 1350 to 1. So put 100 on it. If it hits, I'll get back 1450, which is a $1,350 win. So is it risky? Yeah, because you need both teams to win and you need both guys to homer. But that's why you get paid. That's why you get paid 14 to 1 on it, and you can turn $100 into 1,400.
I like that. So that'll be going down today. If I can find similar odds, I do got to make a trip out to Jersey. So probably as soon as we get off of here, so I can make a cash out and take care of children, Benny. You know the drill. You know how it goes. Arizona and San Diego. 8's the total in this one. We got Kelly and Lowry on the mound.
Yeah, I like Kelly. He's a pretty good young pitcher. Lowry's not that good. He's a lefty, so some of those right-handed bats in Arizona could be in play. Again, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game. I don't think either one of these offenses are really all that great. I like Arizona more than I like San Diego. What was the what's the money on that one? Minus 120, minus 140?
San Diego's minus 138.
San Diego's favored? All right, in that case, I do like Arizona. I would take a little money on Arizona.
Yeah, I think I would pick Arizona also. I think that's the right side to be on that one right there. What else do we have? I said that one. Oh my goodness, running through these already.
Yankees. I'm looking at the Yankees over. The Yankees team total over today.
I was on that last night. I should have played that last night. I was on it and I didn't play. A lot of stuff I was on last night I didn't play. But the one I said I was going to stay away from, the Bucks, I did play. Wonderful.
See, here's what, again, one of the reasons I like these team total overs is when you have crappy bullpens. Baltimore's bullpen is literally the worst in the league. They were last year, and it looks like they're going to be again this year. They're just giving up runs left and right. So, again, you chase a starter with 3 or 4 runs, the bullpen's almost guaranteed to give up another couple to get you over that 5.5 total. So Yankees over 5.5 team total is another one I'd look at. It wasn't great odds, though. Like, I want to say it was like -1. It was like -140 or -160. It was something bad when I looked at it. Yeah, because basically everyone is expecting the Yankees to just crush today. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Colorado and Pittsburgh, Gray and some dude I do not know, Rapper.
Yeah, he's an opener. He'll pitch an inning or two.
Opener.
Opener stuff it's a pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to do matchups for DFS and trying to figure out at bats and stuff. He'll pitch an inning or two. He's the guy that does that. The guy who's likely to come in is Nick Kingham, who played ball with Bryce Harper when they were 12 years old. So you got two Major League Baseball players that run the same 12-year-old team. That team must have been sick, to be honest.
About that.
Yeah. But honestly, he's not a very good pitcher at the Major League level. So if you want to be on something here, I do think the Rockies put up some runs. Gray's a pretty good pitcher. For some reason, this is a guy whose xFIP is always higher than his ERA, and it always perplexes me because you're always like, all right, the positive regression is coming. His xFIP is always lower than his ERA. You're like, the positive regression is coming, and he never really, like, one of these years he's going to have, like, a Cy Young kind of season. It's probably going to be the first year he gets out of Colorado and doesn't pitch there after his free agent contract.
Obviously, tough place to be. Colorado, if you are a pitcher, they're in Pittsburgh today. I've never placed a bet on the Pirates and won, so I'll probably leave that alone.
But I like Colorado. Colorado's the side you want to be on in that game. Colorado's the side you want to be on anyway.
With my luck, the Pirates will win. The Pirates are like the Falcons to me. They're money burners. Yes, the Atlanta Falcons. Can you imagine that? The Pittsburgh Pirates, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Brooklyn Nets. And more and pop.
Honestly, you know what's weird? I talk about this all the time. One of my biggest, like, nemesis in sports betting and DFS is Max Scherzer.
Crazy, right?
Every time I'm on Max Scherzer, he somehow has that one bad game. And every time I need Max Scherzer to have a bad game, he goes out there and throws a gem. Like, there was back-to-back – it was like back-to-back starts for him. I was first in the FanDuel queue going into a Max Scherzer 10 o'clock start on the West Coast and, like –
oh, I know you was loving it.
And I was like, oh, dude, I got this. I'm like, I'm going to wherever I'm going to. I forget what it was. And it was like the one game he got lit up. He gave up like 6 runs and ended with like 8 fantasy points. And somebody who had, a home run or something in a late game wound up passing me. And then the next week I was on David Price and he threw a gem, put up like 30 points. And I was like, good. As long as he puts up more points than Scherzer, I could win this queue. And then Scherzer went out and had like a 9-inning, 14 strikeout, like
Max Scherzer performance,
60 DraftKings points, and I was like, you got to be shitting me. So back-to-back starts, I was on him at the wrong time. So as good as Max Scherzer is, I always get him wrong. So don't ask me about Scherzer and DeGrom in that Mets versus Washington game. Cause
we will skip across that game. No advice from Benny on that one right there. Boston and Toronto, though. Porcello and Sanchez, the total is 9.5 in Toronto.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over in that game.
Really? It's going to be
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of either one of those. I put it this way. I have a lot of guys that are going to be in the cheat sheet today that are hitters on both sides of that game. So the way I'm looking at it is a lot of runs and, the over is the way to play it.
You can find that cheat sheet at elitefantasy.com. Get your DFS ready with my man Benny. The Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays. I was on the Dodgers last night. Another one that I didn't play. So early that I should have played that. What do you think about tonight with Rich Hill and Stanek?
Yeah, so Stanek's another one of these openers.
Wonderful.
It looks like it's going to be, I think Yanni Chirinos is the guy who's going to wind up being the long reliever. And again, these are best guesses, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. When I say this, like I'm looking up all the information I can have on it, but there are times where, the guy just gives up 3 runs in the first inning and they just turn it into like a complete bullpen game. But it looks like Yanni Chirinos is the guy who's in line to be the one to come in for the long reliever here. I mean, again, like he's not a bad pitcher, but I still think the Dodgers have a lot of firepower on that offense. I like guys like Cody Bellinger today, Max Muncy you can throw in there. The lefties are probably going to be the guys that do better if the pitching works out the way we think. So I like the Dodgers to win, but I don't know if I would take them today.
Do we want anything with Miami and Detroit? The Tigers haven't won a game in like 2 weeks. It was like 40 people at their game last night too.
Yeah, I didn't see the sites that I used didn't have K props up yet, but the only thing I'd be interested in here is looking at the K props maybe, because you're right. I mean, if you look at the numbers, like their WOBA, their weighted runs created, their ISO score, the Marlins are just horrible, and honestly, Detroit's not that far behind. So what's the total in this game? 7?
9.
I'll take under because I don't think either one of these teams could score 9 in 20 innings.
I was on the total on this game last night, Benny. These teams can't score.
These teams suck. They're both like I said. If you look at the numbers, they're both really, really bad.
The Marlins left 9 runners on base. Detroit couldn't even put 9 runners on base. It was
Well, I did like Caleb Smith pitched last night for Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that kid. He's good, man. So I'll give Detroit a little bit of a pass, but still, 2 bad offenses here.
You already know what you got with Scherzer and DeGrom. Kansas City and Seattle, Homer Bailey and Adam Wayne, like the total is 8.5. It opened up at push up to 9. The Cardinals are the favorite in this one.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to bet against Homer Bailey, right? Like that's just kind of like a given. So
Makes sense. It's Philadelphia and the Cubs.
I'm trying to who's the pitchers in this one?
Nobody listed yet.
Yeah, you know what? I think I had the same problem when I was looking at it, as I wasn't sure. I don't think this is one of the games I didn't get to today.
You already talked about Ivan Nova and Garrett Cole in Chicago and Houston.
I love Houston. I love Houston in that game. Love Houston in that game.
Minus 360.
I know. I mean, but still, like I would take them. What is the plus 1.5 number?
I don't have that up on my screen right now. Hold on, let me
Usually you can get like plus 1.5 for like maybe like 180, minus 180 or something, as opposed to taking a minus 360.
Did it for 166.
166?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do it at 166. They're going to crush him. Ivan Nova is horrible.
Yeah, and you said to play a right-handed Bregman. That's right.
Yeah, the right-handed power plays better in that ballpark. So guys like Bregman, you can look at Correa if you wanted to. But I love Bregman, man. Bregman's numbers just pop off the page to me. He's so good.
Minnesota Twins came through for me last night. I was on their team total at over 4.5. They had a big inning to get up over that number. Total sitting in this one is 9 tonight as they take on the Angels of Anaheim, Perez and Matt Harvey.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Mike Trout is almost a lock to hit a home run tonight.
Right.
I absolutely love Mike Trout tonight. He hit a home run last night, too. I absolutely love Mike Trout tonight. The problem is, like, even with those home run props, if you take Mike Trout in the win, like, you don't get paid anything.
115?
I don't know. I think it's like Gary Sanchez and him, I think, were the 2 lowest today. They're like, I want to say it's like plus 275. And remember, you're not just taking him to hit a home run. He has to hit a home run, and they have to win. So it's really like a 2-part bet that you're taking there. So you just don't get enough value on it. But DFS-wise, I love Mike Trout. He's definitely on a cheat sheet today.
All right, so there you go. DFS-wise, you want to get in on Mike Trout, the best player in the game. Finally, the Braves and the San Francisco Giants in San Fran, Fried and Samardzija. What do you think about that, Benny? Who won this game?
Yeah, I like
this game last night.
What happened?
Who won this between these 2 teams last night?
I don't know. I didn't really look at it because I didn't have anything going.
Over.
Let me see. Here, I'll tell you right now because I got it up from yesterday.
Bad idea.
I'll tell you what. I do like the Braves again here tonight. I liked them the other night. I don't remember the pitching matchup last night. Last night they lost 4-3. Yeah, I'm looking at that now. But I do like the pitching matchup here today. The kid Max Fried, young guy, he's pretty good. He's a left-hander for them. I just really don't like the San Francisco offense, to be honest with you. Yeah. And then Samardzija is, to me, Samardzija is like a 3, probably like a number 4 starter in this league. Like, people look at him like an ace. He's not really an ace. He's just a guy that kind of eats innings and gives you decent numbers because he has such a good home ballpark. But you can't really mess with this game too much for fantasy or like home run props because it is one of the toughest parks in all of baseball to hit a home run.
Yeah, if anything, you got to. Like I said, I would agree with you. If I'm doing anything with this one, it'd be with the Atlanta Braves, and I don't want to know if I want to wait up till 9:45 Eastern time to watch these 2 teams play a 3-1 game. out in San Francisco. So more than likely not going to have any action on that one. That's my man Benny running down today's action for Major League Baseball. Need to go out there and make some money. I need to replenish my account after I get out there today. Benny, big piece of chicken before we get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think big piece of chicken for me is going to go to Kyle Lowry. You know, he stepped up big time last night, you know, not only because he paid off that plus 100 bet for us when he only had to score like 14 points and he wound up at like 25, but he also made that series the 2-2 series because, you know, all those other guys contributed, but he was really the one to step up to make up for the fact that Kawhi wasn't carrying the offensive load. You know, 25 points from a guy who's been averaging like 13 in the series. That's a pretty good game out of Lowry, so he gets my big piece of chicken.
Yeah, he gets 2 big pieces of chicken. I was on the same guy, Kyle Lowry, coming through for us last night on the props we gave you. Also coming through for the Raptors. My main man Gabe Morris, he says this every single day, but it's 100% true. Talk what you want to talk about Kyle Lowry. Do you know in these NBA playoffs he has the second best plus minus?
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me at all.
People make fun of Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry is actually, outside of those 2 games that he's been criticized for, has been very good this playoff run for the Toronto Raptors. They get ready for Game 6 tomorrow night. No, Game 5, excuse me.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night back in Milwaukee at First Serve Arena. Corey Parson, the fantasy executive. Main man, Ben and Richie Artie. EliteFantasySports.com. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. We got you covered. Football is getting closer and closer. Until tomorrow, we are out.